After a contentious day in court yesterday and the threat of a mistrial, the public corruption case against Michelle Barrientos Vela is back on track. We've got the latest from the courtroom.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
San Antonio police say it appears a car driver was to blame for a head-on crash with a Via bus this morning, and they say he was headed in the wrong direction on Wurzbach Road near Evers at the time of the crash.
That man, along with 3 bus passengers, suffered injuries. As Katrina Weber reports, police believe the car driver was trying to get around traffic.
All over this stretch of Wurzbach Road are signs of a morning commute gone wrong.
The car was twisted that way, and the motor blew out and caught on fire.
Roger Sines was on this Via bus and saw the trouble unfolding. That car heading straight at them as they headed toward Evers Road after 5:30 this morning.
He was going crazy, and he was just passing all the cars. He couldn't stop, and the bus couldn't stop.
The 2 vehicles hit head on. The bus driver, police say, had swerved, trying his best to avoid the crash. Police believe the car driver was on the wrong side of the road, trying to get around traffic in front of him. But they say by the time he saw the bus coming toward him, he couldn't get back over. His compact car couldn't go over that median. The driver of the car ended up with the most serious injuries and went to a hospital. The bus driver and his 4 passengers suffered minor injuries.
And I had nothing to hold on, so I just slipped and hurt my knee.
Sines was left with a limp, but grateful he was not hurt worse. Other drivers also were left with a bit of a pain. The crash closed down Wurzbach Road, which had them going out of their way. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
After avoiding a possible mistrial late yesterday, the public corruption case against Michelle Barrientos Vela resumed this morning. The ex-constable faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted of tampering with security records from a Westside park. Texas Ranger Bradley Freeman resumed his testimony less than a day after Judge Villa Meza initiated contempt of court proceedings against him. Freeman told the jury yesterday he believed Barrientos Vela had committed official oppression. And since those allegations are separate from this trial, the ex-constable's attorneys called for a mistrial. The judge denied the motion, and today the combative cross-examination of Freeman continued. This case is expected to go to the jury later this week. And once again, our Dylan Collier is in the courtroom, and he'll have a wrap-up on our later newscasts.
New at noon, the Edgewood Independent School District has fired a teacher who was seen in a video speaking to a student in a, quote, unprofessional manner, unquote. The spokesperson tells us, quote, the staff member is no longer an employee of the district. This type of behavior does not align with the district's core values and will not be tolerated, end quote. The name of the school and the grade of the student were not disclosed.
Once again, outside with live cam, looks like there's some rain around town. Looking at some of the traffic, and they're spewing up a little rooster tail or something right there, huh?
Yeah, we got some rain, some dark clouds here around downtown. Some pop-up showers and storms, some downpours here starting to take shape. So this is the activity here around downtown. And we'll zoom in a little bit closer here, and I'll show you exactly where it is at this hour. Just to the west of downtown, working its way up towards Jefferson High School and Memorial High School. You're starting to see some rain along Bandera Road right there. We'll pause it so you can see where the heaviest of the rain is right now. Again, right there along Bandera Road, right before 410. And these storms are moving off to the north and west. And there's the latest update. So shifting just a little bit further north. And one thing I want to do here as well is put on the rainfall rates and show you that these storms, these downpours, contain quite a bit of rain with them. The rain will be heavy at times, so you'll have to use those windshield wipers. We're seeing rainfall rates close to 2 inches per hour in the heaviest parts of the storm as they again shift up towards 410. We've also got another downpour behind that that is nearing the east side of downtown, and that is also working off to the north and west. We'll get a little better look at that near the Pearl and then near the AT&T Center, kind of right in between there. Right along I-35 there, just east of downtown, some good heavy rain. So we'll see some more of these pop-ups throughout the rest of the afternoon. And by the way, this area of rain tails back down I-35 near Burbank High School as well. So expect some more of these pop-up downpours throughout the rest of the afternoon, about a 20 to 30% chance of rain. We've also got a flood watch out west where we've seen some heavy rain overnight. And yeah, as David mentioned, there's I-37 in Houston, and you can see some of the wet roads out there. So you want to be careful. There's going to be some slick spots Could be some puddles on the road. We're going to talk more about the rest of this forecast. Rain chances actually increase as we head towards the weekend. More on that in just a bit.
We'll look forward to it. Thank you, Justin. A spat between drivers ends with gunshots ringing out near downtown. Now police are trying to track down the person who pulled the trigger. These images were taken after that road rage incident last week. It happened Thursday on I-35 and I-10. The victim told police the suspect drove up, started firing shots. He later found 2 bullet holes in his vehicle. And the search is on for a woman police say robbed a Dollar General store. It happened earlier this month at the store on Calabria Road. Investigators say the woman packed her cart with merchandise and then walked to the front registers. We're told she pretended to look through her purse and then walked out of the store. An unidentified woman, likely an employee, followed her out trying to stop her. And that's when the woman pulled out a knife and took off. Call Crime Stoppers if you have information about either of these cases. That number, 210-224-STOP.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration now authorizing updated COVID vaccine booster shots from Moderna and Pfizer. It's the first time updated vaccines have been getting emergency use authorization here in the U.S. Both combine the original vaccine with the one that targets BA4 and BA5 Omicron variants. Both companies are submitting applications to the FDA for emergency use authorization for the updated vaccines. They did that last week. Moderna's updated vaccine has a 50 microgram dose that's now authorized for people aged 18 and older. And Pfizer's updated vaccine is a 30 microgram dose authorized for people aged 12 and older. The shots can be administered only after the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention authorizes them. The CDC's Vaccine Advisory Group is now set to vote on Thursday as to whether it will support recommending these boosters. There's a state of emergency in Jackson, Mississippi. There's a water crisis there. Tens of thousands of people are without reliable running water. We have the latest coming up.
Tens of thousands of people in the Mississippi's biggest city still without reliable running water.
Meanwhile, President Biden has approved an emergency declaration, and Mississippi's governor has activated the National Guard in order to help. ABC's Alexis Christoforous has more on this ongoing crisis.
Water everywhere, but not a drop to drink.
Come on down, baby.
Long lines forming each day for limited supplies of bottled water at distribution sites. Many turned away Tuesday when the 600 cases of water ran out.
Fix it. Fix everything. There's water, fix the streets, everything. They need to fix it. You want some clean water to drink like everybody else. It's hard. It's hard. It's rough on us right now.
Last week's historic rain and flooding, coupled with years of water system issues, damaging Jackson's key water treatment facility.
These are human rights challenges. We've been saying that it's not a matter of if our systems would fail, but when our systems fail, and we've seen it far too frequently.
Leaving the city, which is more than 80% black, and many of its impoverished residents without drinkable water, running water to shower, flush toilets, or fight fires for an indefinite amount of time. Many believe systemic infrastructural racism a contributing factor to why the city hasn't received more substantial help fixing this enormous problem.
The whole city is suffering at some point in place. Regardless of the demographic makeup, everybody's affected. We're all feeling the brunt of it in some type of way.
Governor Tate Reeves declaring a state of emergency and tweeting his gratitude to the White House for granting his request for emergency federal assistance. The city's mayor estimating it will cost billions to fix the problems.
We feel like we've been going it alone for the better part of 2 years, lifting up the fact that these are challenges that first and foremost are beyond partisan.
The city's 150,000 residents had already been under a boil water advisory for a month because of harmful contaminant levels. While emergency maintenance is underway to fix the water treatment facility, there is no timeline for when it will be back online. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
Once again, outside with Lago. And look at that temperature, 86 degrees, and look at those clouds. Nice.
I'm very pleased to see that San Antonio downtown getting some rain finally.
Yeah, there is some rain there, and some places around San Antonio missed out on the rain yesterday, so we're getting another shot at it today. We like to see that. The aquifer is down a tenth of a foot to 634.8. And your pollen count, molds jumps back up today. 5,120. Fall elm is moderate. We've got another radar update for you coming straight up.
market going down, rain chances going up.
I'm hopeful anyway. You know, yesterday it almost looked like, you know, the Red Sea parting over San Antonio because all of the rain went around us.
It's the old dome theory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it looked that way, and you know, some of us did miss out. It was unfortunate, but sometimes it's just luck. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just kind of how it played out yesterday. And you know, there is more rain on the radar today. We're excited to see that, and some places are getting good soaking right now. So one of the areas where we're seeing some of that heavy rain is right along 410 here on the northwest side. We'll pause the radar and we'll zoom in a little bit closer here and show you where the heavy rain is at this hour. So Balcones Heights back towards 410 and Bandera, which we know is always busy on the roadways through there. Just know it's going to be even slower now with some of this heavy rain coming down. And some of this is blinding rain. I mean, this is good tropical rainfall. So this is going to cause some puddles on the roadways, and it's pretty easy to hydroplane. So you got to take it slower as you move through some of these heavier downpours. Callahan Road still seeing some rain there. As you cross over I-10, things get much drier. So that one little cell is moving north and west. We'll continue to work up Bandera Road. And then we've got an additional cell here that is on the just north of downtown, just north of the Pearl along Broadway. Seeing some good heavy rain. I-35 going east out of downtown. Still seeing some pretty good heavy rain. This is starting to move up towards the Alamo Heights area. This is also lifting off to the north, and it's got some good rainfall rates with it as well as it moves north and northwest. These are just two of the cells that are popping up, but there's more out there. And I think we'll see some more of these pop-up cells. They don't generally last very long, and they move along. So flooding, probably not a huge issue, but we do have to watch some minor street flooding with these kinds of downpours. And of course, we had the heavier rain earlier out west. That has since gone away. We still have some flash flood warnings. Actually, that looks like it was just allowed to expire here across parts of Real and Edwards County. So good news there. I want to take you to 35 in New Braunfels. That's an area where the heavy rain is just now starting to kind of move out of, as we showed you there on radar, but still some slow going. Especially, it looks like in the westbound lane there, some slow traffic with the rain still coming down. Here is the setup. All that heavy rain across the western part of the VOA area finally starting to move out, and then we're getting some pop-ups behind that. Still, there's going to be a flood watch through tomorrow morning for the western areas because we've had so much rain there. If we get any additional rainfall, it's going to cause some flooding. And the reason we had heavy rain there this morning is this area of low pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere that is moving away. We'll take a lot of the more concentrated rain with it. Meantime, we'll get these pop-ups, and we can see this very well in the time lapse. Watch these storms bubble up right there, and then you get the rain coming in. 85 at the airport, calm winds, humidity is at 65%. And here's the satellite picture. So we've got some sun starting to shine through, and that destabilizes the atmosphere a little bit. And where you get that, you'll get these clouds starting to bubble up into these showers and storms. We're seeing that down around Beeville and south along I-35 as well. As far as temperatures are concerned, in the mid-80s right now. Now the airport's about to get a little bit of rain, so that number probably comes down some with some rain-cooled air. But 87 at Boulevardy, 81 Seguin, 87 right now in Braunfels. And it feels warmer than that with the humidity. 30% chance of rain today. Still seeing these pop-ups from time to time. This is around 6 o'clock. And we'll do it all again tomorrow. Some showers early and then pop-up downpours during the afternoon hours. 30% chance today, 30% chance tomorrow, and probably a 30% chance on Friday before we bring rain chances up over the weekend. 91 degrees at 4 o'clock. We'll fall into the 80s this evening with that 30% chance of rain, and then we'll drop it to a 20% chance overnight. And as we look in the tropics, or actually let's talk rain chances real quick. 50% chance Sunday, 40% chance Saturday. So that's what I was talking about over the weekend. The rain chances come back up. Also Labor Day. Now let's talk tropics very quickly. We've got a couple systems out there we do need to watch. They're way out in the Atlantic though. One that will likely get named, 80% chance of development. One that is subtropical, we're really not going to worry about that all that much. And another one behind that, the 50% chance of development. Nothing that is imminent or will affect Texas, at least at this point. 30% chance rain, as I said, tomorrow, 93, 92 Friday, with the better rain chances over the weekend and early next week. That drags temperatures down to the upper 80s. We'll keep an eye on the radar today and keep that KSAT weather app handy. That'll help you out.
Is it too late in the year to fertilize with all this rain? Wow.
Go for it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, the Jets and Rockets are following up a huge overtime win to open the season with another tough team this weekend. We got a preview on the way of that matchup. And an awesome effort on the volleyball court to pull off some pretty big victories.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
The Dallas Cowboys have released both Cooper Rush and Will Grier, leaving Dak Prescott as the only quarterback on the team as of now. However, they will not start the season without a backup, so you figure one or both of those guys are going to be back in some form. The Cowboys had already released backup quarterback Ben DiNucci prior to today, but what was interesting, the Cowboys did not place Michael Gallup on the PUP list. That means they expect him back before the fourth game of the season, if not sooner.
The real games begin. I mean, we got Tampa Bay coming in here in 2 weeks, and and we got to do whatever it takes. Run, pass, taking care of the ball, taking it away. Big play opportunities. All the things that come into winning football. So it's time to put it all together. Training camp has gone fast. I don't know if the traveling, being on the road there for 2 weeks made it go quicker. But I can't. I feel like it just left for Oxnard, and now we're back and we're getting ready to go. So. But we're ready. It's been a very, very productive training camp.
It feels like it's dragging on, though, since the season doesn't start for another week and a half. There are some notable names of guys that got cut: Cooper Rush, Will Grier, Matt Mayer, the kicker. He's coming back in some form. T.J. Vasher, the former Texas Tech receiver, Brandon Smith, and Malik Jefferson. And the Houston Texans also released quarterback Jeff Driscoll after he fell behind former Commodores and Aggies quarterback Kyle Allen. He was part of the Texans' cuts to get down to the 53-man roster. That's after he signed a one-year deal to be with Houston, even though he can be brought back on the practice squad.
It is difficult, but to me, in the end, there aren't hard decisions to make. It's a hard decision if we start making those decisions at the start of training camp, but now we've gone through all season, training camp, preseason. Now we'll make an informed decision based on all the information you can get, and I'm excited about where I think we'll end.
All right, so here's some of the recognizable names that got cut: Jeff Driscoll, Marlon Mack, the running back, Johnny Johnson III, Max Sharping, and Kevin Pierre-Louis. And one of the big games in our big game coverage this Friday night will be the Judson Rockets hosting the Westlake Chaparrals out of Austin. The Rockets are coming off that season-opening 46-43 overtime win against Johnson in the KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022 in the Alamo Dome this past Saturday. And they are looking forward to hosting one of the premier teams in the state this coming Friday night. That's after Austin Westlake defeated Ridgepoint 44-14 in their season opener.
I know they're real good in the box. The O-line and D-line's real makes that team. So our O-line and D-line got to step up, and the skills got to make plays when the plays are needed to be made.
We know they're a great team. Everybody knows who they are. We're the underdogs, most definitely. But like Coach told us today, we worry about ourselves, and we'll get the job done.
Kickoff between Judson and Austin Westlake at Rutledge Stadium will be at 7 o'clock Friday night. And high school volleyball is heating up now that early season tournaments have come to a close. KSAT 12's Andrew Seeley traveled across San Antonio to cover last night's action, including a District 29 6A showdown between O'Connor and Harlan.
Well, O'Connor versus Harlan was a great matchup on paper. Two 20-win teams going head-to-head in their second District 29 6A matches of the season right here at Paul Taylor Fieldhouse. But the Panthers took control of this one from the opening set and never looked back, cruising to a convincing sweep of the Hawks on Tuesday night.
It really shows that our practice pays off. We work hard, we watch film, we make sure we focus on what we need to focus on. I believe we did that this match, and that's why we got with the win we got.
O'Connor was rolling on both offense and defense. Senior Kelly Fording led the way with 14 kills and added the block. Junior Laney Blake dished out 21 assists, and junior libero Carly Chavez had 15 digs. It's the Panthers' third straight victory. They're now 25-4 overall, and they learned a lot after going head-to-head with some of the best teams in the state at Volleypalooza last week.
I feel like we are capable of beating really good teams and being one of the best teams. Those tournaments are really tough. They are the best teams in Texas, and I believe that coming out the way we did and performing the way we did gives us a really big shot.
That wasn't the only match last night. Incarnate Word hosted Kerrville Tithey in one of the loudest gyms in San Antonio, and this one needed all 5 sets to determine a winner. Meanwhile, Southwest Legacy hosted Kennedy in a 5A, 4A matchup. You can catch extended highlights from all 3 of these matches right now on the BGC page at KSAT.com. For KSAT 12 Sports, I'm Andrew Seeley.
It doesn't like being able to spike that thing over the net like that.
Scares me. I could never do that. Severe weather would make you do that too. It can do more than just disrupt your day. It could lead to issues with your food too. How to keep it protected, still ahead.
Extreme heat can play a factor on your well-being. How a new study explains the connection.
In a new filing by the Justice Department, federal officials allege former President Donald Trump and his legal team likely moved and even hid sets of classified documents. That's what they're alleging as part of an effort to obstruct the federal investigation into whether Trump improperly removed and or mishandled classified documents after leaving office. As part of the latest motion, DOJ is now providing a first look inside the search of Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. ABC's M. Nguyen has the latest from Washington.
In its strongest rebuke yet, the Justice Department alleges former President Trump and his legal team likely obstructed their federal investigation. It comes in response to the Trump team's motion to a federal judge for a special master to review materials seized from Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The DOJ's 36-page filing provides new details into why the FBI took the unprecedented move to search a former president's home on August 8th, revealing in May a grand jury subpoena was issued for classified documents at Trump's estate. Officials say they developed evidence that government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room at Mar-a-Lago, and that efforts were likely taken to obstruct the government's investigation.
None of this is good for Donald Trump, right? Anything in here simply increases the chance of a possible indictment.
According to the filing, when federal agents came to the resort in June, they were handed a single red-welled envelope with classified documents by Trump's attorneys. One lawyer allowed agents to visit the storage room, but blocked them from looking through any of the boxes. That same day, 2 Trump lawyers certified in a sworn statement that there was a diligent search and that all records from the White House had been turned over. But the DOJ questioned that, saying during the August search, the FBI in a matter of hours recovered twice as many documents with classification markings as the diligent search that the former president's counsel and other representatives had weeks to perform. The department also included a first look into the raid with this photo showing several documents labeled secret and top secret recovered from Trump's personal desk and office. Federal officials alleging that obstructive conduct occurred at Mar-a-Lago. Now, Trump's lawyers have until tonight to respond to the department's filing. Today, Trump once again claimed he had declassified the documents found at Mar-a-Lago, though has not provided any evidence of that. A hearing is set for tomorrow for a judge to consider whether to grant Trump's request for a special master. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Job opportunities may be starting to drop in the U.S. That's according to ADP Research Institute. They say that the country added 132,000 positions in August, but that was significantly lower than what they predicted. Economists were expecting almost twice that number. The findings, which were done in partnership with the Stanford Digital Economy Lab, came out 2 days before the government releases its own official jobs report. And sometimes the 2 reports do clash with each other. Analysts expect Friday's data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics to show 300,000 jobs were added this month.
Outside with Live Cam, when's the last time we saw the temperature drop during the noon show? Look at us down below 80.
Wow.
78, like that.
That's that rain, cool air we were talking about. Some of that rain moved over the airport, dropped temperatures. It'll be brief, though. And you know it'll be humid after the sun comes back out. Temperatures will make it back up into the 80s and potentially even 90s this afternoon, depending on how much sun we see. Still getting some of these downpours popping up. The one across San Antonio has significantly weakened. We watched those storms make their way north out of downtown, and as they did, they've really kind of fallen apart here. Still seeing some light rain along 410 there on the north side, 410 near 281 near North Star Mall, and then still seeing a little bit of rain working its way up towards the UTSA area. This is quickly kind of falling apart, but more downpours are showing up on the radar, especially as you get south towards Pleasanton, seeing a nice downpour there. That'll work just east of Pleasanton and cross over Highway or Interstate 37, I should say. And expect some more of these pop-ups throughout the rest of the afternoon. Still seeing some wet roads out there too. This is I-35 in San Marcos. Wet, but it looks like they're starting to dry out. So again, these showers, because they are moving along, aren't going to dump just a whole lot of rain. But there's going to be some slick streets in spots. 90 degrees at 3 o'clock. 30% chance of rain, 30% chance into the evening. Temperatures fall into the 80s and eventually lower 80s by midnight. More on active forecast coming up in just a bit, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Extreme heat apparently does more than just make people feel physically uncomfortable. It can also mess with your mind. According to a study by Gallup and Citi, those who live in areas where the temperatures are hotter than usual are more susceptible to a lower sense of well-being. Researchers say older people and those who live in countries with developing economies appear to be affected more often. The study also shows that well-being worldwide could fall by 17% by the end of the decade as global temperatures are expected to rise. Flooding can contaminate crops with bacteria, mold, and sewage, but are these toxins making their way onto your table? ABC's Justin Finch tells us how to protect your food when a natural disaster occurs.
Heavy metals, pesticides, and chemicals are just some things your food can get exposed to during flooding or severe weather. However, the FDA requires all foods, whether for humans or animals, to meet well-established safety measures. So what happens when your food gets contaminated? Most of the time, it's deemed unsafe to be re-entered into the food supply. And in some cases, it can be repurposed and used for animal food. Now, the FDA is introducing an online resource page for food producers affected by severe weather incidents like floods or power outages. This is meant to replace individual announcements previously issued before severe weather outbreaks. Producers are encouraged to check this page before and after storms for the latest information. With this Medical Minute, I'm Justin Finch, ABC News.
A penguin fitted with special orthopedic shoes, now waddling in style. How and why a company created this fancy footwear still ahead.
And an Ohio woman is starting to get the hang of a new piece of gym equipment. Of course, that's after a police officer had to help her get off of it. A look at the moment she decided to call 911 to help her with her workout.
Animal Care Services is seeing a new disturbing trend. It says that pet surrenders are up 128%. Why more folks are handing over their furry friends and how ACS hopes to combat the issue after the break.
It is a first in years for San Antonio. Fewer animals are leaving Animal Care Services.
As Patty Santos explains, it's due to a new kind of abandoned pet, and it's creating a new overcrowding crisis.
ACS pet surrenders are up 128%, thanks in part to evictions. Some of the strays picked up are also unsocialized, making it harder for them to get adopted. ACS is also dealing with staffing shortages. The rising cost to spay and neuter animals is also a problem, given San Antonio's animal overpopulation.
Spay and neuter is going to address the problem of overpopulation, period, which is absolutely going to help our live release rate. But I think it needs to be the key tenet that we base everything else on. Keeping that population down is going to be the solution, in the future to having too many animals in San Antonio, which leads to too many animals at homes, which leads to too many animals on the streets.
ACS says it is working on a strategic plan to rethink the way it does business. Details of the plan will be released to council later in the fall. Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Some four-legged friends are getting ready for a new life. More than 100 beagles were flown from Maryland to California this morning. The Humane Society and other organizations were involved in the move. Officials say they're going to make sure that the dogs get checked over medically before they're ready to be adopted.
Earlier this month, 146 beagles were also taken from a breeding facility. That business shut down after the Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against it, claiming violations were occurring there. According to the Humane Society, the dogs were being bred, were set to be sold to labs for experimentation.
All right, check it out. These boots were made for waddling. A penguin at the San Diego Zoo just got a custom pair of boots.
Lucas had been struggling with a case of bumblefoot. It's an infection that causes swelling and painful lesions in the foot. That's when a company that specializes in boots and other protective footwear for animals came up with the boots. They used molds of Luke's feet to create a special pair of orthopedic boots. There's an extra padding at the bottom, and the black shade looks as close to his natural foot color as possible so as not to stand out too much.
The boots were a success, enabling Lucas to get back to socializing with the other penguins. Zookeepers say he even now has a girlfriend.
Ooh.
It worked.
An Ohio woman started recording her workout, intending to post it because she was so happy with a piece of equipment designed to stretch her back.
But then she got hung up on it, literally. CNN's Jeannie Mose has the lowdown on the upside down 911 call.
Don't you hate it when you have to call 911 because you're stuck upside down?
I'm stuck in this reverse, back decompression thing.
Good thing Christine Falls was able to use her smart watch to call 911.
And I think the thing went too far, and I'm just stuck upside down, and I cannot get myself right side up.
Stuck at the Powerhouse Gym in Berea, Ohio, open 24 hours. The only other person she knew was in the gym with her at 3 a.m.
Hey, Jason!
Was in another room lifting weights and couldn't hear her.
And it was just so much pressure in my head.
She kept trying to lift herself free, but no amount of squirming helped. She hung there for 5 or 6 minutes before she decided to call 911.
This is so embarrassing.
The inversion table is supposed to loosen your spine. So are you going to use the inversion table ever again?
Well, not without a buddy.
An officer arrived at the gym a few minutes after Christine called 911.
When the cop walked in, Jason told me that the cop came in and said, we got a call that someone's stuck hanging upside down.
Oh, dear Lord, my ankles are burning.
The officer chuckled.
Just easiest rescue ever.
The ordeal lasted a total of about 12 minutes. She had a headache afterwards and felt a bit fuzzy.
People are like, why would you post that? It's just so embarrassing. But I'm like, sometimes you just gotta laugh at yourself and move on.
Move on, but no more working out like these guys sleep.
Yeah.
Kind of look like a bat. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Can you imagine the police officers getting that call? Like, what?
They get calls about a lot of weird stuff, but that one, pretty embarrassing. For sure. Hey, raining. We like it.
Yeah, we can see the rain there in the distance. Great to see some rain around San Antonio. Some places are getting a good downpour at this hour. 86 so far today, although we got a little bit of rain cool there at the airport at the moment. The average height is 94. Will be just a little bit below that today. I think the record is 103 set back in 1954. Not getting there. It is going to be humid. We've got more downpours potentially around the area this afternoon. I'll look at that radar. It's coming up.
It is always a really good day in the weather lab when everyone called for rain and it's raining.
It's raining.
It's like
right on.
Christmas in the weather lab.
Well, these days it's pretty good because we've got rain chances every day, and some people are hitting the weather lottery here and there, and we'll keep that going throughout the rest of the week. So we've got chances through the weekend. In fact, rain chances go up over the weekend. So we've got some good shots at rain here. As we look back over the month of August, you know what? We've had some days where we've picked up some pretty decent rain, especially back on the 24th, an inch and a half. Now, this is at the airport. But we had several days here where we had some measurable rainfall, very, very different from the rest of this summer. And so for the month, we're at 2.10, just a little bit above average. And we may pick up a little bit today. Officially, nothing at the airport yet. That storm just missed the airport to the west. But there's still some showers and storms building down to the south of San Antonio. So you see this activity now starting to blossom, and everything's working north and west. Here in San Antonio, we had those downpours develop, and now they've kind of fizzled out here on the city's north side. But we've got a new little downpour that has developed here just north of Highway 90. close to John Jay High School, actually just to the west of John Jay, moving up towards Stevens High School and eventually SeaWorld. There's Wurzbach Road right there. This is 90 and this is 1604 on the city's far west side. So that storm, or that little cell, will work north and bring some rain there to the west side of San Antonio. Otherwise, more downpours showing up along I-10 near Comfort. Seeing a nice little cell there just to the south and east of Kerrville around Center Point. That'll work its way up towards I-10. And as I showed you, there are some more downpours south of San Antonio. And these are those little pop-up type showers and storms that will eventually perhaps work their way up towards San Antonio. And we're getting this with the heating of the day. Here's the big picture. And you can see all the clouds and sort of a spiral in the atmosphere right here. There's an upper level low there, and that's bringing some good heavy rains to parts of West Texas, areas that desperately need the rain. We can see it very nicely on water vapor. Nice little spiral right there. Unfortunately, this is moving west and moving away from us, so that will take some of the better rain chances with it. We still have an unstable pattern, though, where we've got a lot of tropical air in place. And with the heating of the day, we should get more showers and storms next few days in the afternoon, just like what we're seeing today. Right now, 85 degrees at the airport, 83 Stinson, 84 Kelly, and 84 at Randolph. You got some rain-cooled air and some cloudier skies out west, keeping temperatures down, some 73 in Rock Springs, but where we're seeing more sun, again, 85 here in town to 89 in Gonzales, 85 Helotes, 89 right now in Devine. And with the humidity, feels like it's in the mid-90s in New Braunfels, feels like it's close to 100 in Gonzales, and the heat index will jump into the mid-90s today. As far as rain chances go, we'll keep in a 30% chance this afternoon. It'll be that hit or miss type downpour activity that we're seeing on the radar right now through the evening hours before everything kind of dies down. Could see some stuff flare back up overnight too. And then by tomorrow, very similar setup with a 30% chance of rain as well. So the KSAT 12-hour forecast, 91 at 4 o'clock, 88 by 7 p.m., 30% chance of rain. And then we'll see rain chances fall into the 20% range as we go into tonight. Extended forecast, 93 Thursday, 30% chance of rain, 30% chance Friday. There could be some pockets of heavy rain mixed in here at any time, really. But better shots at rain Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We get some more disturbances rolling through. We still have some of that tropical air in place. And every day in the 7-day forecast has rain chances, which is awesome.
Gosh, beautiful. Thank you so much.
A megachurch pastor and his wife trying to overcome controversy in a mockumentary, while the filmmakers behind the movie say you don't have to be growing up in a megachurch to relate.
Whether your vocabulary growing up included the phrases praise the Lord or bless your heart, you may find something familiar in a movie that's opening up this weekend.
CNN's David Daniel has a look at that movie.
For Jesus, save your soul.
Somebody who's grown up with organized religion, at some point in time, usually comes to this point, it's like, all right, do I really believe this? Or are there things that don't necessarily jive with my soul? And then if they don't, then what do I do next?
We can edit around that. Right.
That feeling of feeling trapped, but also not wanting to go anywhere because it's you know, it is both your haven and your hell. I think it exists, and I think we've all had moments of at least feeling like that.
Women who have been married to a lot of men know what it's like to feel like you are holding the weight of this entire world.
Yeah. So that's good. You can cut.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, got to head over to SA Live.
Speaking of big time, look at there. There's big time right there.
That's
for
right.
You.
That's right.
Y'all are too sweet.
You know what else is big time? Unleashing the cookie monster within.
Yes, that's right. Sarah Knight, owner of the Cookie Club, is here, and we're talking fall flavors already, right?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm so ready for fall.
Do you have a favorite cookie flavor?
I love pumpkin spice everything.
Now
anything.
Yeah, I agree with you. And these look amazing already, but we're going to add to them. Believe it or not, it's going to get even more over the top.
And we always get hands-on with our animal friends, but it's something that students can experience too. And Amanda Winter from Once in a Wild is here with one of her animal friends, an iguana. So what is one fact about iguanas people may not know?
You may not know that they actually have a third eye.
Oh, explore that coming up and tell you how this mobile zoo can come to you.
Yes, I'm intrigued. Third eye. Okay. Also, earlier I went out to Elsewhere Garden Bar and Kitchen. I mean, look at that mouth-watering food. We get a taste of the menu. Also, he has a big royal announcement as well.
And we are less than a month away from the official start of fall, so we want to know, I mean, are you ready for summer to end?
Are you ready to let
ready
it go?
for the temperatures to end, for sure. You know, so let us know at SA Live KSAT on Facebook and Twitter. All that and more when we continue in a few minutes.
The first official day of fall is right around the corner. That means pumpkin spice season's here.
And it also means several events are making a comeback. Right now on KSAT.com, a list of some of the events you have to look forward to, including pumpkin patches, haunted houses, and Muertos Fest.
You can find all the details in the Things to Do section of our website.
And the forecast, 91 degrees today, 30% chance of rain. We're still watching that radar. There's some pop-up showers and storms, and we'll see that a similar setup next few days with some afternoon activity. A little better chance, though, this weekend and on Labor Day, guys.
Looks good. Thanks, Justin. And thank you for watching the news at noon.
A little concerned about how close the iguana was to the candy corn.
Oh, you got a candy corn tie on today. No wonder you were,
all excited. This is going to be a sweet show.
As they say in Cajun land, he has an envie for some candy corn.
SA Live starts right
now.
Celebrate San Antonio. Coming to you live from historic Market Square. This is SA Live.
Oh, hello and happy Wednesday. Yes. Look at that iguana. Having a great time already on the show. Yes. Good afternoon. I'm Fiona Gorseason. Now, we are less than a month away from the official start of fall. And how ready are you for summer to end?
Yes, we want to know. Yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Yes, and that is our question of the day. Are you ready to let go of summer, right? Are you ready for it to end? Let us know. Let us know why, too, maybe.
Oh, the heat. Humidity. That can go.
That's the obvious one. I mean, look at the hair today. It was curly at one point, by the way.
Why? Why do we try?
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, let us know on our Facebook or Twitter at SA Live KSAT, and your answers may be shared a little later in the show.
All right, well, we are kicking things off with our Wild Wednesday. We always get hands-on with our animal friends, but it's something your students can experience too.
Amanda Winter, founder of Once in a Wild, is here to introduce us to some of her animal friends. We did move the candy corn away from the iguana. I know, you're giving me the look, I'm sorry. All right, but we have some exciting friends to chat about today. Fiona, you got one too.
Yes, I do. We're gonna say kind of hello to everybody because we've got
This is Alice right here. She's an opossum. Okay. You're holding Princess, trying to hold her.
Yes.
Over here, she is a ball python, and y'all already met Joanna the iguana.
Joanna the iguana.
Yes, Joanna the iguana.
All right, so let's start over there.
Oh, sounds good. So she's enjoying her favorite snack, which is bananas, but she is a Virginia opossum. This is Alice again. Alice is named after Alice Cooper, and her brother's name is actually Cooper. So we have an Alice and a Cooper. It's because of the eyeliner and many other things.
Oh, yeah.
But opossums are
awesome. That Alice eating a banana is one of the cutest things I've ever seen if you see it from like straight on. I mean, it's so precious.
They're allowed to eat with their mouth open. You are not. Humans are not.
It's cute when they do it. Yes.
Very cute when animals do it. She's adorable. Did you know that opossums can actually eat almost anything they want, though?
No.
They're super omnivores, which means they have all kinds of things on the menu for them. They can even eat things like poisonous plants, rotten meat, and venomous snakes.
Now, people tend to, fear opossums because they think, oh, they carry rabies, things like that. And that's not true, right?
Actually not true. There's many myths about opossums that are just not true, and they're absolutely not an animal to be afraid of. They do not attack people. In fact, you know what they do when they feel really afraid?
What?
They play dead.
That's so smart.
So typically they will actually maybe get startled by you or your dog or something like that in your backyard. Typically they're only out at night, so that's when you'll see them wandering around, maybe eating a snack, things like that. Remember, they eat anything, so they might be in your garbage. So they get a bad rep for that. But if you startle one, corner one, they're probably going to stop and freeze, and then they're going to maybe hiss at you, and then they faint. They just opt out. And they can stay passed out for 4 hours, so it's super convincing.
They're such thespians of the animal animal world.
I know, very dramatic.
and people may be scared of rabies when it comes to
Yes,
them,
they actually do not carry rabies.
Mm-hmm.
These guys can contract it, but they don't pass it on. So it's almost a 2% or less chance that they even get rabies. They have a very low body temperature for a mammal. They are marsupials, so marsupials share that in common too, like kangaroos. They actually have a low temperature as well for a mammal. Turn around, girl. And so they don't really have any viruses. Lucky them.
Good to know.
Not quite your best side there, Alice. And so,
There you go.
difference between possum and opossum.
Great question. So opossums live here in the Americas. The Virginia opossum is the one that we find in Canada, in the United States and Mexico. And when you go further south, you find all kinds of different tropical opossums too. And then possums are only found in Australasia. So you'll see things like the four-eyed opossum and things, or the possums, which is another type. I misspoke. It's going to be a marsupial too, but they have kind of a fluffy tail. They look more like a sugar glider than an opossum does. So that's the Australian version. So different species, but related. Good question.
Now on to this cutie right here. Keep staring.
Yes,
I can't touch, you told me, right?
Yes, so iguanas typically get actually a strange reputation for being a good pet or a good animal to hold. They're really not. So this is Joanna the iguana, and she is a green iguana. Green iguanas live natively in Central and South America, and they're mostly going to be in the trees, which makes them an arboreal species. They can also swim very well too. They can be down in the river swimming too, but typically in the trees. They are vegetarian. And you guys heard my fun fact about the iguana earlier. Do you want me to explain that a little bit?
Third eye.
So if you look at her head, on the top of her head, she's got a little teeny tiny, almost like a pimple on top of her head. That's called the parietal eye, or the third eye. And it's actually going to be able to show her shadows and movement when she takes a nap. So if she closes her eyes to take a nap in the trees, she can still spot hawks and eagles flying overhead.
How is that?
Neat, right?
I had no idea.
And again, iguanas get kind of an interesting reputation for being a good pet. They really are not. They do have sharp nails, sharp teeth, and a big whip-like tail for defense.
Is this as big as Joanna will get?
I hope so. So she is actually a female. Female iguanas are about half the size of a male. When you obtain them as a baby, you can't tell the gender, so you might end up with a male that's 2 or 3 times as big as her. So they can get pretty big as a species, but she's hopefully just about done growing.
Oh, she heard that.
I know, she's like
she's looking, she's trying to intimidate you.
Who's here who's bigger than me?
Talking
Who's here who's bigger than me?
I know, where?
And now let's finish out here with Princess, the precious ball python.
Princess is precious. She is a ivory-colored ball python. Ball pythons come in many different colors in human care. In nature, they're going to have a pattern for camouflage and all of that. But she's an ivory-colored ball python. She's one of our 2 ball pythons, which are Prince and Princess. And this species is found natively in Africa. And they're wonderful. The snakes get a terrible reputation too. Speaking of animals with bad reputation, snakes are viewed as like slimy, scary, gonna bite you, and most of the time it's just not true. Now there are a lot of snakes you shouldn't pick up, right?
Right.
Don't go into your backyard, kids, or your playground and pick up every snake you see. That's not a good idea. But if you know somebody with a pet snake or something like that, it's usually fine. Ball pythons are very sweet and docile snakes, and they curl up in a ball.
That's why they're called, right?
Exactly.
Ball pythons.
Princess just likes to cuddle here, and you, of course, have an event you're going to be at in the best place ever here at Market Square.
The Market Square. So we're going to be here this weekend on Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 2. So we hope to see you guys there for an animal meet and greet.
All right, don't forget, you can see the animals from Once in a While here at Market Square, as she just said. All the knowledge, too. I love all the fun facts, so thank you for that. This Saturday, September 3rd, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And for more information on Once in a Wild Mobile Zoo, you can head over to our website, SALive.com. Click the As Seen on SA Live tab.
All right, well, the Riverwalk is home to many gorgeous outdoor spots, but one keeps racking up the awards and could now even be home to royalty?
Yes, I got to go out there earlier today to check out Elsewhere Garden Bar and Kitchen. Take a look. Get your phones ready, right? Because this is one of the most Instagrammable spots in the downtown area, and even the food. I mean, look at this food. It looks amazing. I'm starving right now just looking at it. Taryn, the owner, joins me now. So let's talk about the obvious thing right here in front of us, the food. It looks amazing.
Sure. We've got a peanut butter and jelly burger with cheddar cheese and bacon. Nashville chicken sandwich with sweet and sour or sweet and spicy slaw and pickles, and these Brussels sprouts with Parmesan cheese and lemon. If you want to go ahead and finish that off.
Yes. Ooh, the lemon. I don't think I've ever added lemon to Brussels sprouts. And then the cheese. What kind of cheese is that?
Parmesan.
Parmesan. All right. Now this is just a sample of the menu, right?
Yes, we have many different specialty burgers, chicken tenders, different chicken sandwiches. Cauliflower wings, some vegan options.
Ooh. I'm intrigued by the cauliflower wings. All right. Well, I'm going to try one of these, but let's talk about something real important. I know Fiona mentioned royalty, so let's let our viewers know how they can help your cause.
So I'm running for Royalty of the Riverwalk, King of the Riverwalk, and it's to raise money for Alamo City colleges and scholarships. And yeah, it's a great cause, and we get to go around to all the river events and fiesta events and et cetera, and it's for a great cause.
Awesome. Okay. We also have, there's a handful of others running for that title, and we have the link on SALive.com. Click the As Seen on SA Live tab for that. Also, let's talk about some other awards that Elsewhere has taken in.
We just won Best Bar Food, Best Date Night 3 times in a row, Best Patio 3 or 4 times in a row, Best Bar 3 times in a row.
Wow.
So we're racking those awards up.
All right, and as you can see, if you look around this area, I love this spot right here, the phone booth. What would you say are some of the favorite spots that people take pictures?
Definitely the phone booth, especially when they read the sign. There's some rules of drunk dialing, like call your mother and tell you love her. And call your boyfriend, call your best friend. The Be Kind sign is also something very Instagrammable with these 2 15-foot giraffes on either side.
Yes, they are so adorable. And then obviously the entrance with the pretty cascading flowers and all the different spots. I noticed even today, you guys weren't open, but people just come through, right? And you can take photos.
Yeah, it's open, so people, when we're not open, they kind of treat it as a park as they walk down to the Riverwalk or just kind of enjoy the space while we're not open, serving drinks and food.
And I would imagine you've had some famous faces stop by.
We've had a bunch of Spurs, Jeremy Piven, the late Bob Saget.
Yes.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of nice celebrities come through.
Those two both. Jeremy was on SA Live, and yes, the late Bob Saget, we chatted with him. I saw the photos y'all shared.
His wife was like, this is my favorite spot. I wish we had more time to hang out. And she came back actually the next day to hang out some more. So.
I mean, how does that make you feel? Because you guys have definitely grown. The last time I was here.
We have, yeah. We, we keep adding these different Instagrammable spots and kind of updating and changing things up. And yeah, we're excited.
All right, and some things that have changed since I've been here is you have some new boozy, fun, delicious drinks, and I think we're going to chat more about those in the second half of the show. But can you give me one of the flavors so our viewers can stick around?
Watermelon cucumber, strawberry rosemary, or mango jalapeno.
All right, that all sounds delicious. So, all right, I think I may have had a sample of that already. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take a bite here of something. Are you going to join me? Don't make me feel.
All right.
Let's just take a bite as we send it back.
All right, thanks, Jen. Well, still ahead on the show, Labor Day weekend is coming up, and are you looking for a road trip destination? We check out a Texas vineyard and even show you a great recipe you can make with their wine.
But first, Spice Baby, a local cookie maker, is debuting her fall flavors, and we get the first bite. It's next on SA Live.